Well, indeed, we are here. Welcome to Amityville Horror. Thank you for visiting. I am Clint,
I'm Don.
and tonight we are here with several members of the cast and crew of the movie Trepidity, which is coming up. And I am pretty interested in this. I like the idea. It's kind of like a demon possession story, and I think well, Steve, how about we start with you? Maybe you can give us just a general overview, whatever you're willing to divulge about it right now, and then let me know who you brought with you and what they're doing with you on the project.
All right. Trepidity is based on a short story I wrote for a book anthology, probably, I would say 5 years ago. And it basically tells the story of a group of friends hanging out, partying, when they summon the legend of the servant of Satan, and there's Beth, who once called upon will possess a body, kill, and then jump to the next body, and they'll keep killing and killing until everybody's dead. And whoever they kill, their soul goes right to hell.
Damn, that is some brutal stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I've always wanted to write like an 80s slasher type story, and I figured that was a good start.
Yeah,
Definitely, I'd say so.
yeah, and I was intrigued by the name. I had to admit, walking in, seeing a name like Trepidity, I wasn't exactly sure what that meant. So I'm seriously looking up like dictionary definitions, of like trepid,
Trepidation.
trepidity, the opposite of it, intrepid. What does it mean to you?
It means I looked it up when I wrote the story, and God, I can't find it either, but I did find it. I did find it when I was looking it up. It means like being isolated, alone, nowhere to go. I think it was something in that terms.
Yeah, because things I was coming up with was things like timidity or fearfulness, things
Mhm.
like that, and they all seem to somewhat line up with the subject matter. And I was just curious
Yeah,
what that meant to you, because it's not a commonly used word.
right. And that's what I like to use in my stories, words that you don't hear a lot of.
I got you. So who all did you bring with you today, sir?
I brought my wonderful producer, Anne. Here it is. She's the one who spearheaded everything with the crowdfunding and everything like that. She was in charge of it, did a fantastic job. I also brought Tatum Shoesmith, who plays Samantha, the smart ass of the group.
Plays that part very well.
Magdalena Conway, who plays Trish, the shy, quiet one. Ashley Hefner, who plays Allison, who is the rowdy, I would say drunk partier of the group. And she also directed the opening segment, which we call 1976, which opens the film. Got Jake Yanko, who was also in the 1976 segment. And Beth Metcalf, who handled our special effects, and who is the troublemaker who set this whole thing off, Melissa.
Awesome. And you guys, each one of you guys did a phenomenal job in your corresponding parts, without a doubt. It was a great cast, without a doubt. And we were trying to find some things to talk about. We're gonna obviously wing it because unfortunately there's not a lot out there, which is a shame because you guys were amazing in this. So I figured there would be more credits along the line, and there probably will be in the future, without a doubt. But up to this point, just kind of winging it. So how did each one of you guys get involved with the project?
Who you directing that at?
I'll let whoever wants to go.
I could talk from a producer's standpoint.
Sure.
I met Steve a little less than a year ago working on a different project of his called Morium. So I was involved in that as a supporter. I tried to be involved as a cast, but he didn't cast me. But I kept in touch with him anyway. And worked with him on another project called Splintered Love as an actor. And I had read Trepidity and really liked the story. And Steve is a very, very good storyteller and writer. And so wanted to have some involvement. And there was no role for a grandma in Trepidity. So I offered to be a producer. And it was the first time I'm working as a producer, but really believed in the project. I was familiar with some of the cast members from prior work that they had done with Steve. So I knew he had a good team put together. And I figured, we'll try to raise some money and see if we can get this thing off the ground. And we were pretty successful with it. But you're right, it's not released yet, so there's not a whole lot to see. Our official release is going to be at a film festival in Green Bay, Wisconsin in September.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what's your experience with acting been up till now? Is it mostly like theater or something like that, or?
Well, I'm one of those people who returned to acting late in life. So I was in plays in high school, and then I worked in information technology for a long time and decided to get more creativity back in my life by going into acting. So I've only been at it about 5 years, but I do theater and I do on camera as well.
Yeah. No, I understand life gets in the way, responsibilities take over, and then suddenly it's about, what? I need to be a little happier. What do I want out of life? So I kind of get it. So theater, well, it sounds like that's a passion. That's a tough gig. I mean, like organizing things like that.
Yeah, I'm actually directing my first play. It's a Neil Simon play, Rumors. So it's a farce. We just started working on that. In fact, I was painting for 3 hours today at the theater, so my right hand is no longer.
Oh my! Oh my!
So yeah, it's a small community theater, so we're all volunteers. We do all the work, from lighting to music and costuming and set decoration.
Mm-hmm. Is it an older theater with a lot of history?
Yeah, they've been around for like 47 years, so a really long time.
Just curious. It's on my mind lately. My brother did a documentary on a theater in our local town, and there's way more history in those things than I realized. And it's really cool that you're a part of that. And maybe you'll I don't know, put that place on the map. That'd be super cool.
Thanks.
That would be cool. Absolutely. All right, I guess we'll just go down the line. So we'll go to Tatum next.
So I actually met Steve through another project, In the Dark, and that was the first like film that I'd ever done or anything. So he kind of gave me my first chance, and he's been giving me amazing opportunities since then. So I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, so now I'm here. Now I get to be amongst this great cast. I've worked with a lot of pretty much this whole cast. So it wasn't like new people, but it was nice to work with them again. So yeah, it's fun.
So In the Dark, what type of character did you play in that? Was it a pretty significant role, or was it like a bit part?
Yeah, In the Dark, I played Jessie. She was the one of the leading characters, and she mentally had a lot of problems. She has like multiple phobias. And so basically she was like fighting off her phobias. It was like a horror film. And so we had like a clown, we had zombies. It was, so it got pretty dark, but it was cool. Yeah.
Wow. So like a person working through their phobias one at a time. So it's kind of like a psychologically geared movie?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Can that be found anywhere? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, you could. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's you. Oh, God. Yeah.
You can find it. It's on YouTube.
Oh.
An Aquastar Films YouTube channel.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Well, I'll cue that on up.
Yeah. And how would you describe your experience with this film?
This film was a bit more fun for me per se, because it wasn't my first film, so that helped. I wasn't as nervous, and I got to play a character that was a little bit more, she's serious, but she's sarcastic, so I didn't have to be like super emotional like I was in the Dark. So yeah, it was fun.
Would you consider yourself to be a sarcastic and pushy person? Was this a character written for you, or is this kind of stepping outside of who you really are?
I think this character is probably the most like me that I've played before. I'm not necessarily intimidating like she's supposed to be, but I'm definitely the sarcastic side of her for sure. Telling a joke at the wrong time type of person, maybe. So yeah.
I think we all know somebody like that.
Gonna mute you, Clint.
Well, then you do all the talking. Go ahead and mute
no,
me.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, so Magdalena, how are you?
Yeah, hi. I'm good. I first worked with Steve on Morium. I was also in the dark as well, though. But I found Morium through Backstage. That's where I find a lot of my acting gigs. I found that in 2020 when, there wasn't a whole bunch of acting stuff happening. And so I was very appreciative to find something to do in a time when there really wasn't a whole lot to work on. So I was glad I was able to do something creative at that time. So super grateful for that. I'm so glad I've been able to have more opportunities just after that too, because of Steve.
Yeah, quarantine and shutdown made it really difficult
Mhm.
for your profession. And recently, Don and I have watched a few movies that are out there floating around that were filmed during that same time.
Yeah.
They had to get really creative with how they did it, like people basically filming themselves alone and then just having a creative edit job done at the end, to try to bring it together as a cohesive film. Looks really difficult to do. So yeah, congratulations for keeping working. That's
Yeah, thank you.
fantastic. Yeah. So you played Trish,
Yes.
and I kind of gathered that your character was kind of unpopular and awkward, and like somebody that most people didn't want to friend. And I kind of didn't understand that. That must have been weird. That can't possibly be your real life experience. You know what I mean?
No. It's weird because I do feel like I get cast as that sort of character a lot. But I do have a lot of fun playing that sort of character a lot.
Okay.
Trish was really fun. I loved the costume for Trish. I loved my glasses and all of that. Super fun. The
Yeah.
glasses actually helped me get into character more, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm generally like Trish. I'm not super shy. Like maybe in some situations I'm more quiet,
Mhm.
but she's like all in her own little world with her music.
Okay. I've been blown away lately by the number of people that we've spoken to who basically act in films and claim to have like crippling anxiety. And I'm like, how
Mm.
is that even possible? I mean, because look at what you're doing, and
Yeah.
but I guess the reality is it's a more controlled environment. And
And you're being someone else.
yeah,
So
yeah, you can draw inspiration from anywhere. You can kind of just go for it and take the direction somebody's telling you what to do, as opposed to you sitting around worrying and guessing about it.
yeah.
So and I enjoyed the costume work there too. The glasses really worked for you. Now, of course, that panged Don pretty hard. He's a
I
guy
hate those
who
damn glasses. I wore those glasses in high school. I got my senior pictures taken with them. My mom put that on the mantle, and I was embarrassed as hell when anybody ever came over. I'm like, can you take that picture down? I do not need people seeing that. So I'm like, I wore those glasses. I'm pained by those glasses. But you wore them well. The character was well done. I loved it. So, I just was like, you know what? She can play it. She can pull it off. Go for it.
I will say I kept calling them like Dahmer glasses, like Jeffrey Dahmer.
all right. I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I definitely can. Now I'm like, I wore Jeffrey Dahmer glasses
Just
in high
ruined
school.
the
I'm so
image.
sorry.
Awesome. It makes it even worse, but it's all right. It's all right. All right. Let's go to Jake. How you doing, brother?
Good. I also met Steve through Morium, which was a huge blast to work on, and everyone a part of that was so much fun. So I was super excited when he asked me to work on this. And again, it was a great time. The location was awesome. Everyone there was awesome. And I really enjoyed it. So
That's cool. I really enjoyed the mustache in this.
Oh, absolutely.
I know. I was really stoked on that too, because I already had the mustache when he asked me, and I was like, "Oh man, this is like the cards are just lining up perfectly."
Yeah.
And
You
gave me a
just-
reason to keep it too, because I was thinking about getting rid of it for a while, which
Yeah.
I just did yesterday, actually.
Yeah. Well, it still looks good. Maybe not as good, and you're wearing the wrong jacket, so it's
Close.
I
I can get back there. I need to grow it out again. It's just, it gets in my food, and it's like,
yeah.
every time I drink a beer, just like it leaves the
Oh
foam
yeah, you got
all on
foam,
it.
yeah.
So I mean, you seem to play some type of a I don't know, I hate to use the word douchey character, but I mean,
But you're going to.
well, I'm
you
not sure
could-
what else to call it. It's
could
like
say
It's pretty
a
good
douche.
for it.
uh,
Yeah.
almost like an overconfident womanizer type. But somehow inexplicably you were friends with these ladies, which it's like they accepted you even though they knew what you were. And I found that to be an interesting element to the story. I mean,
Yeah, he's got to have some kind of good quality in him, apparently.
I guess so, even if it is just fun to party with, and I thought it was cool that you weren't exactly sure why you were there, and complaining about having to leave something else that was clearly more fun to you in order to be there. So did you use anything as a specific inspiration for trying to pull that off, or
I think it's more
because in
Yeah,
reality,
I didn't-
you don't seem real douchey to me. So you must have pulled inspiration from somewhere.
Thank you. I try not to be. Yes, I think I'm pretty good at that. But yeah, I guess it's just pulling inspiration from people I've met and all the people I've known that are like that. And I've seen a bunch of them before. It's just
Mhm.
kind of like working yourself up almost, and just I like to be like in the character the whole day, kind of. I get there, you gotta kind of be a douche when you're driving down there, like yelling at people. I don't get road rage, but that day you gotta start yelling at people.
Mhm.
I start yelling at that old lady driving real slow. She's gonna hear it from me, I just gotta be a little bit of a dick, kind of get in the mood of a dick.
All right.
Take that. I'll
I like
take
those
that.
makes
roles, they're
sense.
fun.
Yeah. You got to get in character, and then of course, yeah, I understand that. I mean, you got to like ramp yourself up a little bit and get the energy in the right level, in the right
Exactly.
headspace, to be this person, whoever it is. And it's so funny. Like I see people like do that, like in preparation for something they're getting ready to do. They'll just walk around, they'll kind of like pump themselves up. We were just talking with somebody yesterday about that, Claire. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Is that kind of your method? Just lean into it early on and try to get yourself in the right place to prepare for go time.
Yeah, I definitely try to like especially the day of filming, I try to stay in that character. It just helps me helps me remember the lines even too. And like the walking thing is a big one, like how the person walks, like having the right walk to like get you where you need to be, both
Makes sense.
actually and like in your head.
Come to think of it, I don't recall. I don't remember how your character was walking, but I would assume there must have been like a bounce to it, almost like a groove. Or is that
A little
wrong?
bit of a groove. I could take a groove. I think it's more like the shoulders, maybe. I gotta try like square the shoulders,
Yeah, you go.
like
Yeah.
widen my douche self out.
Yeah. Had kind of like this Disco Stew vibe from the Simpsons.
Simpsons,
Yeah.
Love that, yeah. Disco stew, baby.
Disco stew, baby. See, I would just get in the car and drive and get there, and everybody would be like, "Hey, that guy's a dick," and I was like, "All right, guys. I mean, I didn't have to do anything, so thank you for calling me out."
Nailed it
Um,
already.
It happens. It happens. So, Beth, you definitely have a big old part in this. You are the SFX person on this as well as in the actual movie.
Yeah, and that was a great time. I got my start meeting Steve on In the Dark as well as Tatum, and I played Snappy the Clown. So it was a really wild and fun, one of my favorite roles. So that's how that all started. And then, yes, in Trepidity, I play Melissa, who's the drunk girl that's like, oh, let's go summon a demon, like truth or dare, like screw that, like let's summon a demon instead. Here's some vodka, like she's just a troublemaker. And the thing about her is like she doesn't really care that much about her friends in the end, and it shows because of everything, and it karma. But we won't talk about anything else. But then voicing the demon and then doing the SFX was awesome. I like to stay busy on set, and that was like the perfect world for me, getting to do all that.
Yeah, it seemed like you wore a couple of hats in this production, and that's kind of cool. Now, was that by design? Were you asked to do all that up front, or is that just kind of like, hey, we need somebody to do this? Would you mind, stepping in for this?
Yeah, so I was asked to do it because Steve knows about the special effects. I've done here and there some stuff for Acrostar films, but I do often wear those two hats on sets, especially if it's like a horror movie.
Okay, that's very cool. Yeah, and I thought I saw a thing where you might be working on an upcoming project, Mothman.
Yeah, that's this
Yeah.
weekend. I am so excited.
Yeah, somebody
Yes.
somebody that we know pretty closely is going to be on that too. So I guess
Yay.
yeah, you probably know Jamie Apple.
My co-host.
Yes,
Nuts and
yes,
Bolts.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
excited to work with Jamie.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some hair and makeup stuff, just kind of what's needed. I'll be in and out of that set all weekend, and I'm really excited.
So I liked what you did here. That to me, that was a lot of blood. I mean, that really stood out. I mean, it definitely had the desired effect. Whether it was a face spray or arterial, just a spurting, and so forth, or just a convincing looking gash. I mean, it was all there. So I enjoy that quite a bit. I think they got the right person. So that, and throwing your head in for acting and so forth, that's awesome. Voiceover, huh?
Yes.
Voiceover.
Yes.
All right.
Scared the shit out of me when it came
Yeah.
on screen. I was like, am I like having a seizure? Like, why am I hearing a voice just, and I was even and Steve's warned me like 12 times, like, hey, there's a demon voice. I'm like, okay, got it. And then it comes on, I'm surprised. I'm like, man, he gave me a warning about this. I don't know why I'm freaking out. So
I love it.
It was awesome.
I love the demon voice. I use a little bit of Snappy. I usually, characters that I do, I try to take 3 different characters from my research and put them into one. And I got to take this essence of Snappy's like musicality to her voice and put it into the demon. So that was really cool
That
and
was
fun.
awesome. It was awesome. Who we got next over here? We got Ashley. Right?
Ashley, yeah.
Hey, hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
Pretty
good.
good.
Thanks for hopping on.
Oh, yep, of course. So I play Allison in Trepidity, which is Sam Tatum's best friend. I'm kind of the like promiscuous, fun, flirty girl from the 80s. And then I also direct the beginning segment in 1976 with Jake and Miranda, and my sister-in-law Hope is also acting in that section. It was a lot of fun. I met Steve through a project we do called Blood Sisters. It's a series on YouTube with Tatum. Magdalena was in an episode. Miranda, who is also in the 76 segment, she's one of the main actors in that show as well. So it's a lot of fun, and I love working with them all.
Pretty cool. And I heard that you also donated the barn for usage in this. Is that part of
Yep.
like a family farm or something, or you just like barns and you bought this place? So
yeah, it's my home actually.
Okay.
We just bought this house. We bought this house last year, and it has a few acres, and it's got a really creepy barn too. The barn's over 100 years old. It has that really spooky vibe. And we've been using my home for a few Steve's projects, including Splintered Love, Blood Sisters, and Trepidity now. And this house itself is 123 years old, and I don't get any spooky vibes in my actual home, but I do not like to go into the barn by myself, and I never have. It gives me real bad vibes, so it was the perfect setting for a creepy murder barn. So
Yeah, I got that impression. I
doubt
don't
about
think
that.
that, I don't think that I would have wanted to spend a great deal of time alone in that thing. And I happen to like barns. I'm from Pennsylvania, and we've got a ton of old farms like that, like your bank barns and things like that. And some of those are so huge
Mhm.
and beautiful that you think you could make houses out of them. They're so big. So so where's that one at?
Yeah. This barn, we
Mhm.
are in central Illinois in Peoria.
Okay.
And there's nothing really around it other than my house, and there are a few neighbors, but they're still pretty far away. We are
Mhm.
pretty close to, not pretty close, but it's far back from a street, but it's a main street, so we can still hear cars occasionally pass by. But it's a
Mhm.
pretty quiet place. It's really nice. We thought about turning the barn into a studio or something, but I don't really like being out there. I don't want to demolish it either because it's really old and the history is really cool, but it gives me really spooky vibes. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
and there are a lot of bats there that we can't seem to get rid of.
Yeah, bats. Yeah, you're always
Hmm.
gonna have those, aren't you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you feel that your character was written pretty well for you, or did you have to prepare for this? I mean, I don't know if you strike me as quite as the party girl, type, but maybe you are. I mean, what do you
Well,
think?
I'm not so much myself, but the character I play in Blood Sisters, pretty
Mhm.
identical to the character I played in Trepidity.
Okay.
And I think like Steve even joked about writing them so similar because we filmed an episode of Blood Sisters the day before we filmed Trepidity. So I didn't really have to get out of that one character's mindset to jump into another one. It just kind
Okay.
of, the slang had to change a little bit, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
But
I
it was
got
a lot
you.
of fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I even remember what 80s slang sounded like, so was there any like real preparation for doing that since you brought it up? I mean, or were these things that were kind of like
Um,
written in?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone else. I watch a lot of 80s horror films already, and not just horror films, but 80s cinema, period. So it's pretty easy to pick up, just also not just the slang, but the vernacular and how they talked, and kind of like add a little bit of the Valley Girl essence to it as well. So I don't know about anybody else if they want to chime in.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody
No?
else
Okay.
have experience with 80s slang and where you picked it up?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah.
I knew somebody was gonna
Okay.
say totally. I was gonna ask, did anybody actually say that in the movie? Because
Ah,
I'm sure totally was in there somewhere.
I don't remember. I
That's like
honestly,
It
that's
had
like
to
the
have
one word.
been.
If you throw that out there, that's all you need.
yeah.
Without a doubt, that's all you need. So yeah, so I guess we'll go to the man himself. We'll go to Steve. So give us a rundown, brother, because you're the one that can do it.
Uh, I have been writing books for probably a little over 8 years. I've got 9 books on. A couple of them I've adapted into movies: In the Dark, Morium, and now Trepidity. Uh, as a self-published author, it's always a dream to have your books come to life on screen. So I took about a year and a half, 2 years studying up how to do it. And I figured if it's going to happen, I'm going to have to do it myself. And that's where In the Dark came into play. I mean, it's slightly different from the book, but it still has the same kind of tone. And after that, it was Morium, uh, Splinter Love, and then Trepidity. Why do I feel like I'm missing one? I have Blood Sisters, but I've worked with all these actors and actresses before. They are, without question of a doubt, the most amazing people you'd ever want to work with, ever. And I love working with them. They're great. And I'll continue to work with them as much as I can. And as a matter of fact, all of us, Jake, you'll probably be getting an invite. We're going to be doing a 50s creature feature, probably in September. We're going to start. And it's a
Love it.
throwback to bad 50s movies in the terms of Ed Wood, Roger Corman type. And Beth is going to be making the creature for that.
I love it. Those are some great movies. I that is such a cool period of cinematic history. So I'm kind of excited that you're going to be doing that.
Yeah,
Is it?
I mean, I got the idea from watching Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it. I got to do something like this. You can't pass it up.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're walking, you can see the boom mic kind of come in. And
Yep.
Mhm.
they stumble their lines, but they keep going. Like a low budget, we got to get this stuff done as fast as
Yeah.
we can type movie.
Yeah. Make a film during the day, make it look like shadows and night, and then just add in cricket sounds and so forth. Yeah, I'm all about it. It's great. Are you going to document that process at all, or are you going to kind of keep it a secret?
I don't know. We may document where we make like the spaceship out of paper plates. You know, we may do something like that, document it like that. But
Oh, I have to see that. God, I have to see that.
I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
no, that's super cool. I watched one of those old Roger Corman movies lately. Ah, man, what in the world was it called? It was one of his space movies that he did, but that was the thing with, like, they walked down the hallway, you know, inside the spacecraft, and it was literally like styrofoam, like trays from like fast food restaurants and things like that. I was like, that is amazing, and it looked surprisingly good. So,
I mean, I told all the actors, you're great actresses and actors, but unfortunately, you got to undo what you learn and be bad actors and actresses for this film.
Yeah, so I'm hearing this a lot, you know, in the indie scene, that basically you want to adapt something to a film, and you'd like as much help as you can get, you know, and then you just hit roadblocks and things that prevent you from doing it, and you ultimately come to the conclusion that, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to do it myself. And I find that commendable. I really love the DIY approach. You know, it's like we talk about it all the time. You know, people like Lloyd Kaufman writing books about it. You know, and like, make your own damn movie, get a camera, do it, figure it out. You know, and another director that we spoke to, Jason Pitts, same thing. He said, I had a whole bunch of scripts, you know, and nobody wanted to make them. So he's like, if they're going to happen, I guess it's on me. So, I mean, kudos to you, man. I mean, for just picking it up and just trying to find a way to make it happen. That's really cool. And that tells me that it's, you know, another thing we talk about a lot. It's a work of passion. You know, it's something that you feel like it needs to happen, you know, and you're in love with what you've done and what you've created. And then, of course, you're going to love everybody you work with, because they're helping you make that a reality. I mean, and it's really cool that everybody comes together to do what they can.
And I always say, I mean, without them, it's just words on paper. That's all it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you taught yourself to be a scriptwriter?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty sick.
I mean,
it's pretty damn awesome.
I mean, it's a mass difference from writing a book to writing a script.
Sure.
Writing a book is tell, don't show, but you got to reverse it when you write a script.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So bouncing back and forth is kind of challenging.
Yeah, I was gonna say bounce back and forth. I mean, yeah, like Clint said, it's commendable, because I mean, some people just they want to do it, but they just can't, and they never do, and then they have all these awesome ideas just fall to the wayside, and it's like, you know, just do it. If you know, it may cost you a little bit of money, it may cost you a lot of money, but if you can find the right people to do it, you know, that's just go and do it. And you know, we've talked to a lot of directors that take that approach, and I mean, honestly, some of the stuff that we've seen, you know, this included, I mean, it's better than some of the stuff that, you know, we've seen in Hollywood. I mean, you know, and it's kudos to these guys, you know, and because they care. That's the biggest difference between the actors in Hollywood and the indie actors, is that, you know, at one point maybe they cared, but seeing you guys up close and personal like we have since we started this podcast, it's just a different landscape, and it's just invigorating to see, you know, you guys just do what you do, and it is a work of art.
I mean, I treat all these like they're my family.
They seem like it, because they seem like a very tight knit group. So, like I said, yeah, Jake's giving us the heart. We love you too, Jake. We don't want to keep you guys on here too long. We wanted to we definitely wanted to get together and find out more about you. And
Yeah, I'm curious, where are you at in this project right now? I mean, have you completely wrapped? I mean,
Yeah, it's completely wrapped right now. It's in post-production. I'm doing a second round of edits,
okay.
and then it's going to be sent off to be colored and sound design and music.
Okay. So so it's gradually coming together into a final product, and do you think it's gonna hold true to your vision for the story?
Oh, I think it will.
That's fantastic.
It will.
that's what you want to hear.
Mhm.
And tell everybody about Blood Sisters if you can, because I've started watching that show and I'm like, why am I liking this? So I guess that just proves how awesome it is, because I'm like, 3 episodes in, I'm like, this is pretty awesome. So just kind of give a rundown on that, so everybody at home listening can check it out too.
Blood Sisters came about through Ashley's sister. I asked her, do you ever want to do like a short film about something? At first she said fairies. It's like, well, that's a little out of my league. Thinking something out. And then she said vampires. And I just went with that. And I asked Miranda and Ashley to join in to be a group of sisters who are vampires who don't get along, but yet in the end, they truly care about each other. And it just took off. Tatum came along as pain in the ass Maya and Carrie, and was there to cause trouble. Magdalena was in an episode. Let's see, Jake, he will be in an episode coming up.
That's awesome.
And
It's a great show. I mean, it really is. And the fact it's on YouTube and it gets, I mean, it gets some views. Like it's up there. So
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And Beth and I have been talking about bringing Snappy and the Blood Sisters to one episode.
oh, I would love to see that, without a doubt.
But it's fun. It's really different to what I've done in the past and what I'm doing in the future. It's different. It's just different and fun to do. Again, with the cast, they all get along. We're a tight-knit family.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that just adds another notch on your belt too. That you can do more than just the indie film. You can do a show on YouTube, a web series. You can do something else, and that'll help you in the future, because versatility is it's a big thing, especially with what you guys do. So that'll get you more opportunities, which I can't wait to see.
And the next episode comes out Tuesday. Next Tuesday, not this Tuesday.
Okay.
I'll be on it. I got my reminder set. My YouTube reminders on. So, again, guys, we just want to get you on here to let everybody know who you are, because people need to know who you are. Because eventually you guys are going to have your 50, 60, 70 credits on IMDb, and we want to see where you go. So, if anybody has anything else to add, if anybody wants to do another shout out, go for it. You want to plug anything, you guys? Obviously Trepidity is going to be the big thing. So, we're looking forward to it without a doubt. So, Steve, if you want to plug anything you guys have that's in a, you got going on, man, do it, please.
Well, of course, Blood Sisters. Tatum and I just filmed like how do you say it, Tatum? Like an anti-depression short film,
Yeah.
if you can call it.
Mhm.
And that's be hopefully coming out next month, if not before. And then it came from somewhere, the 50s creature feature, which we hopefully going to film in September.
Which we want to see every step of the way there.
I do want to see that.
I do. I'm not going to
Yeah.
spoil anything, so I'm not, just let that play out as it will. So,
And then, of course, a shout out to Miranda and Paige and Hope, who couldn't be here. We missed them, but they were great in the film, like they all were. And
yeah, they definitely all were. So
it's
yeah,
a pleasure to work with everybody here. It truly is.
hey,
Love you guys.
you guys have been, honestly, especially Ann. Me and Anna talked a couple times before we set this up, and man, I was hooked. Like as soon as I found everything else about this, I was like, I need to know what this is. And after seeing it, you know, what I have seen of it, I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this is crazy. And it's, you know, it's a simple story, but it's a complicated execution. That's how I kind of put it as, you know, you can put that story in your head a million different ways, but can you execute it? Which you did.
And I
We
think-
appreciate you having us on.
Our
So
pleasure, trust me.
So your next steps for this project is basically have a premiere at a festival, and is it going to hit the festival circuit?
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking at several festivals.
Okay, cool. So I wonder if you'll like kind of document the experience with us, like as you progress and move forward with introducing this to the world. You know, maybe hit us up on the page and let us know how things are going, and especially if you get, you know, a selection or you maybe win something, or
I mean, if
well,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
definitely
lot of
will.
submissions, you know what I mean? It's like and so, well, I mean, talking to some other people, we find out that that, you know, a submission can get rejected for any number of reasons. Like, oh, it's too long. We can't mess with that, you know. And it's because they're watching, you know, like what, 150 selections or something like that, and they're like, okay, never mind, next one, you know. So I don't know what your experience is with that, and if you're feeling good about how that works, and you've been through this before, I assume.
Oh, yeah, I have with film
Yes,
festivals.
yes, Steve's an award-winning filmmaker, so.
Yeah.
Well, you have to chalk another one up, because this one's going to get something. I have zero doubt about that. It's going to get something. It's too damn good for the indie circuit. I mean, it really is. Like I said, you know,
Thank you.
it's the way it comes across and the way it's executed. It's like, this is like something out of Hollywood. So kudos to you and your crew.
Thank you very much.
So
Will it be available for purchase? I mean, have you got a website or something where you'll be able to sell merchandise and so forth?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
That's in the planning stages. But
Cool.
merchandise, huh? That's a
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I might be in the market for a Trepidity t-shirt, you know what I mean?
I want a coffee mug.
You know,
I'll work on that.
it'll just say "Trust no one" in blood on the front of it.
I'm,
You know,
I'm
what I
There you
mean?
go.
No, it's got to be one of those heated mugs. When it heats up, then it says that.
now you're talking.
See, we can make this work for both of us without a shadow of a doubt. So, yeah, guys, if you guys don't have anything else, this has been phenomenal. I love to hear from each and every one of you guys, like we did. Each one of y'all brings something special to the table. So, you know, kudos to you with Trepidity and whatever else you guys have in the works. So, again, just thank you guys for joining us. We've had a blast, without a doubt.
Well, thank you for having us.
You.
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We'll be
thank
in
you.
touch.
Absolutely. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
It's good seeing y'all.
All right,
You too.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again.